that J Shot was, or John Smith was, a close associate of the leader of 4PF, Dominique.
In a big court case, things took a shocking turn when it was revealed that Lil Baby may be more connected to criminal activities than anyone realized. This case, linked to the Goodfellas gang, had everyone in the courtroom in disbelief as new details came out about one of Lil Baby's close associates, Shot or John Smith. Marissa Viverito, the lead investigator for the Atlanta Police Department, took the stand and shared some surprising information. She told the court that Shot, who is closely connected to Lil Baby, was not just a casual acquaintance. He was a key member of the 4PF crew, which Lil Baby is said to lead. Viverito described Shot as someone with a lot of power in Lil Baby's group, a trusted person with a significant role. What really shocked everyone in the courtroom was the evidence that was presented. One of the most surprising pieces of evidence were private messages that were supposed to disappear. These messages, sent through apps like Snapchat and Instagram, are usually set to delete automatically. People often believe that these messages are safe from the law, but investigators managed to recover them. These messages, which were thought to be gone forever, ended up being very important in the case. It served as a reminder that hiding things in today's digital world is harder than ever. As one expert pointed out, it is much more difficult to hide your tracks when you are involved in criminal activity today. Even messages that seem to disappear can still be retrieved by the authorities. But the surprises did not stop there. The court also showed a music video where Shot could be seen, and it turned out to be very important. This video, posted on Shot's own YouTube account, showed him in places connected to criminal activities. The video was crucial evidence because it linked Shot to real-world events, like crimes that had taken place in certain locations. The courtroom reacted strongly when the video was shown. It was from a song called Go Crazy, and it featured Shot in scenes filmed in locations that were connected to criminal events. Investigators believed the video proved that Shot was involved in those locations where crimes occurred. The connection between the video and the criminal activities was clear, and it helped to tie Shot to the case. This case has shocked many people, especially since it involves Lil Baby, a famous rapper with a successful career. It showed how even someone in the spotlight, like Lil Baby, could have close connections to people involved in criminal activities. The case raised important questions about the ways in which the worlds of music, crime, and personal connections can mix in ways that many do not understand. The testimony in court revealed just how difficult it is to stay hidden when you are involved in crime today. With messages, videos, and other pieces of evidence connecting Shot directly to Lil Baby, it was clear that investigators were determined to follow the evidence wherever it took them. This case is far from over, and it will be interesting to see where it goes next. As the trial moves forward, the focus is on whether the evidence will be enough to charge Lil Baby or anyone else involved. But one thing is certain, this case has opened up many questions about the connection between fame and crime. It shows how complicated the world of celebrities and criminal activity can be. The more the investigators dig, the more they uncover, and it is clear that there may be much more to this story than anyone expected. The music video for Who Want Problems now looks very different when you think about the details shared in court about Shot's role in the violence. The court pointed out that certain shots in the video were filmed at a location on 1043 Spark Street. This place is directly tied to violent events, which makes the video more than just entertainment. It now links J-Shot to the spots where these crimes actually happened, making the connection between his actions and the violence clear. The case got even bigger when wiretap evidence was brought into the courtroom. Investigators were able to listen to conversations where Shot's role in doing violent things for 4PF, the crew led by Lil Baby, was discussed. In these calls, a term called tickets was used. According to lead investigator Marissa Viverito, tickets means a price on someone's head, which is basically a bounty. These conversations made it clear that people were talking about hurting or even killing others for Lil Baby's crew. The most shocking part of this testimony was the revelation that Lil Baby himself, or at least people working for him, were behind these tickets. The wiretap showed that these bounties were being put out by Lil Baby, with some people even mentioning his real name, Dominique Jones. The The police believed that Lil Baby had authorized these tickets on people's heads, making the case even more serious. It showed a direct link between Lil Baby and the violent actions carried out by his crew, like J-Shot. At first, Lil Baby called these claims false and said they were lies on his social media. However, the evidence presented in court, including the wiretap recordings and the direct connection to J-Shot, made it harder to ignore. This evidence is solid and tells a story that cannot easily be brushed off. It adds more weight to the case and puts Lil Baby in a very difficult situation. What he thought would be easily dismissed is now something he has to face seriously. This case is getting a lot of attention because it shows how the law works when it comes to gangs and their leaders. The commentary from legal experts explained that even if Lil Baby did not personally take part in the violence, his association with people like J-Shot still ties him to it. If J-Shot is doing violent things for 4PF and Lil Baby is seen as the leader of that crew, then the law can link those actions back to him. It does not matter if he did not personally commit the crimes, his connection to the people who did could make him responsible. This situation is tough for Lil Baby. It is possible that even if he did not directly tell J-Shot to do something violent, he could still be held responsible as the leader of the group. This is how the law works, especially when it comes to gang cases. If J-Shot is carrying out violent acts for Lil Baby's crew, the law could say that Lil Baby is behind those actions, making him a target for a larger investigation.
Just a brief interruption. Being a criminal is so difficult, bruh. And I hope all you criminals and street dudes is listening, bruh. She just said.
The legal system is keeping a close watch on this case. It is showing how connections between gang members, even if they do not directly commit crimes, can still tie a leader to criminal activity. For Lil Baby, this could mean big trouble if he is found to have any involvement in these violent acts, even if he did not directly cause them. The public defenders who handle these cases are very good at connecting all the pieces of the puzzle, and they know how to make a strong case. With all the evidence being presented, it looks like the authorities are building a serious case against Lil Baby. The connections between J-Shot and Lil Baby's crew, along with the wiretap evidence, are showing that Lil Baby could be responsible for actions carried out by his team. This situation is becoming more complicated, and it is a reminder of how the law can hold people accountable, even if they were not directly involved in the crime. The Public Defender's Office is currently getting ready for a racketeering charge in the 4PF and OMF cases. This preparation suggests that Lil Baby could soon face charges, along with others. It looks like these charges could be coming soon. With Shot's alleged role now exposed, it is possible that both J-Shot and Lil Baby will be named in these charges. Prosecutors might call it a criminal organization that involves both of them. Let us now break down the evidence connecting J-Shot to violent crimes. The paper trail showing his involvement is long and detailed. Court testimony has shown that J-Shot was present at important crime scenes, with evidence coming from surveillance videos and his own social media posts. On Instagram, J-Shot can be seen with Lil Baby and in the areas where violent events happened. He even filmed a music video in one of these locations. All of this links him to the spots where crimes took place, making his involvement hard to deny. The music video evidence is very important because it shows that J-Shot was planning ahead. He did not just accidentally end up in these locations, he chose to film content there. Prosecutors could argue that this was an intentional act to stir things up. The title of the video, "Who Want Problems," could be seen as directly challenging their enemies, sending a message to people they had conflicts with. Besides being physically at these locations, there were also messages that were recovered. J-Shot allegedly used disappearing message features like Snapchat or Instagram to send these messages. These are messages that are meant to disappear, but prosecutors were able to recover them. They could argue that this shows J-Shot was trying to hide his criminal actions. The fact that he used these features could show that he felt guilty about what he was doing and was trying to keep it secret. For Lil Baby, this news about J-Shot is a serious problem. Under the law, even if Lil Baby did not directly commit the crimes, he could still be held responsible because he allegedly led the gang. In cases like this, gang leaders can be held accountable for what their members do, even if they did not carry out the crimes themselves. One important part of the investigation is a shooting that happened during a music video shoot in May 2024. Police reports say that 3 people were shot and Lil Baby was nearly hit by the gunfire. This incident, along with others, connects Lil Baby to violent events. The police reports also officially called Lil Baby the gang leader, which is very important for the case. If J-Shot was committing murders for the 4PF gang and Lil Baby is the leader, then the law could hold him responsible for what J-Shot did. The timeline of events also helps to build this case. After the shooting at the music video shoot in May, things got worse. In June 2024, a man named Trevont Turner was killed by people connected to 4PF. Just a few days later, in July 2024, 2 13-year-old boys were killed in a shooting related to the first incident. These events show how the violence was getting worse, which is what prosecutors need to show in a gang-related case. One of the biggest pieces of evidence is the wiretap conversations where people talk about tickets, or green lights, on people. A ticket is street slang for a bounty, which means that someone's life is in danger. In these conversations, Lil Baby is named as the person giving the orders. If J-Shot was carrying out these hits because of Lil Baby's orders, this shows a clear line of command, which prosecutors need in a case like this. This is not just about being connected to a gang anymore. With the wiretap evidence and the music video footage, prosecutors have a much stronger case that Lil Baby was involved in ordering these hits. J-Shot is not just a member of 4PF, he is seen as someone who carried out violent actions for Lil Baby. The evidence clearly shows a stronger connection between the two of them. All of this evidence shows that J-Shot was more than just a member of the gang. He was actively involved in violent actions and was directly connected to Lil Baby. With so much evidence, prosecutors now have a solid case to charge both J-Shot and Lil Baby. It shows that the 4PF gang is not just about making music, it is an organized criminal group.
And in your experience, do you know what tickets are?
A price on somebody's head.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean on somebody's head?
J-Shot has now been identified as a member of 4PF, which is an organization that Lil Baby is allegedly leading. This connection is very important for the RICO case because it links Lil Baby to a criminal group. Lil Baby's defense team now faces a tough situation. They not only have to deal with the video evidence that connects him indirectly to violence, but also have to answer the more serious claims that J-Shot acted as a trigger man under Lil Baby's leadership. One defense strategy could be to argue that 4PF is not a gang, but a real business, specifically a record label. In December 2024, Lil Baby rebranded 4PF to Glass Window Entertainment. His team might use this rebranding as proof that the group is a legitimate business, and this could help distance Lil Baby from any criminal activities connected to the name 4PF. This rebranding is even more important now, given the allegations against J-Shot, because it looks like Lil Baby was trying to separate himself from a group that is now tied to criminal behavior. Another defense approach could be to question the trustworthiness of the wiretap evidence. During the Young Thug YSL trial, the same person, Vivito, faced criticism for her testimony. Some may argue that because of her past issues, her interpretation of the wiretap may not be reliable. Lil Baby's defense team could use this to challenge the importance of her testimony about Shot's role and his connection to Lil Baby. Lil Baby's team might also argue that the wiretap conversations are not strong enough to prove he gave any orders. The talk about tickets or bounties on people's heads is based on rumors, not direct orders from Lil Baby. This could give the defense some space to argue that these were just rumors and not actual instructions from Lil Baby. Despite these possible defenses, the evidence linking J-Shot to violent actions is a big problem for Lil Baby. Earlier claims about him being indirectly responsible through video locations were already serious, but now, the evidence about Shot's alleged actions creates a much stronger connection to the violence. This kind of evidence is exactly what prosecutors need to build a strong RICO case. Reports suggest that Lil Baby might face a RICO indictment in the next 90 days, showing that authorities are moving quickly. There are also rumors that the case, which started as a state investigation, might now be shifting to federal jurisdiction. This would make the case even more serious. After Lil Baby dismissed the allegations on Instagram in February 2025, he has stayed quiet, probably because the situation has become very serious. The allegations about him, especially the link to J-Shot, are not easy to explain away. The impact on Lil Baby's career has been fast and big. Sources say that big music streaming platforms have started removing his songs from their playlists, and brand deals have been paused or canceled. Some of his tour dates have been postponed indefinitely. Even though no company wants to admit that they are cutting ties with an artist who has not been formally charged, the growing connection to violence is enough to make these behind-the-scenes decisions. Recently, there were rumors that Lil Baby had been arrested, but this turned out to be false. However, the fact that people are talking about federal questioning and the possibility of a RICO charge shows that the legal pressure on Lil Baby is growing. The evidence surrounding J-Shot is building a strong case against him. Behind closed doors, it looks like Lil Baby is trying hard to separate himself from J-Shot and 4PF. His decision to rebrand 4PF to Glass Window Entertainment now seems like an attempt to distance himself from a name that is being linked to criminal activity. The situation got even more serious when Fox 5 Atlanta uncovered an arrest warrant for Dominique Jones, also known as Lil Baby, in connection with what authorities are calling a gang war that led to multiple deaths. This development makes the case even more urgent, and legal authorities are now focusing on Lil Baby's role in the violence. Fox 5 Atlanta has now gotten hold of the arrest warrant, which directly connects Lil Baby to the case. After looking at the warrant, they found that 4PF, Lil Baby's old label, is named as one of the rival gangs involved in the violence. The police had only mentioned "Only My Family" before, but now 4PF is also named. In 2024, Lil Baby changed 4PF to Glass Window Entertainment. This change may now be part of his defense, showing that he is trying to separate himself from the gang and focus on his legitimate business. The evidence linking Lil Baby to Shot's alleged crimes is getting stronger. J-Shot has been shown in photos, music videos, and messages with Lil Baby, making it hard to deny their connection. Also, Wiretap evidence shows that Lil Baby may have been involved in placing bounties, making his link to the violence much more direct. With this growing evidence, it is clear that the legal case against Lil Baby is serious. The Georgia Public Defender's Council, which represents gang members who cannot afford a lawyer, is getting ready for a possible racketeering charge against Lil Baby and his associates, including J-Shot. This preparation shows that the authorities have strong evidence and are likely to charge him soon. If Lil Baby is charged and found guilty, he could face many years in prison, especially with the violence involved, including deaths of children. One person in the music industry said that if Lil Baby is involved, his career would likely end. They suggested that Lil Baby may want to leave the country to avoid facing charges, though this is an extreme suggestion. It shows how serious things have become for him, especially with all the evidence coming out about Shot's actions. This case is also bringing attention to the way hip-hop culture often involves self-snitching. One expert pointed out that many criminals today think messages that disappear on Instagram or Snapchat are safe. However, these messages can still be recovered by law enforcement, just like in Shot's case. This is a reminder of how careful people need to be with their digital footprints. Some people from the Atlanta music scene have shared their opinions, saying that it feels like hip-hop artists are being unfairly targeted. They believe that the system is focusing too much on successful rappers. However, the evidence against Lil Baby in this case is very strong and difficult to ignore. The links between him, J-Shot, and the violence are clear and documented. If Lil Baby is officially charged, he will have a tough decision to make. He could fight the charges, which could lead to a long time in jail before the trial, like what happened with Young Thug. On the other hand, he could cooperate with authorities, but doing so would destroy his reputation and still result in a long time in prison. In the next few months, we will see what happens as the case continues.